Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to be with you this morning, and I'm grateful, Ms. Saldana, for the invitation to share some of the knowledge I have from my experiences in life so far. And I really hope that what I share can be found to be valuable. Now, to introduce myself, I am Andre Pitts. I'm 27 years old. I have one child, a lovely daughter. I'm a trained paralegal. I'm a creative director, producer, and talk show host. I'm also a trained paralegal. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be with you this morning, Miss Saldana. Thank you very much for the invitation. I feel honored that you consider me to be someone with knowledge that may be useful to the people participating in your sessions, and I hope that is indeed the case. So first up, to introduce myself, I am Andrew Pitts. I'm 27 years old. I have one child, a lovely daughter. I am a trained paralegal. I'm a creative director, producer, and talk show host. I'm also a justice of the peace, a political marketing consultant. I'm the president and founder of Group Hug, a charity organization. And in 2018, I was recognized by the US Department of State as one of the top 250 young leaders of Latin America and the Caribbean. And I listed all of those things for two reasons. One, to show that a single person can bring many skills, talent, and knowledge to the table. So, for example, if you add me to your network, since we're talking about networking today, you can reach out to me when you need JP services, when you have a legal issue and want some sort of advice. If you want to start up a business and perhaps I can offer some marketing advice. It might not always be completely free, kidding, but of course I would always be willing to offer some tips and tricks based on what I know. And so that is the first mini lesson in networking. Don't take any one person for granted, because one person can bring a lot to the table. And secondly, I mentioned all those things because I hope that some of you have been saying to yourself, he must be rich, or grow up rich, or come from a really rich family, but nothing goes so. My richness for me is honestly, really and truly comes from the quality of my network and how I have been able to benefit from my network. Nothing financial yet, no type of financial richness, but still a good quality of life and good opportunities thanks to my network. So now, excuse me, let us begin with our informal and almost kind of watered down TED Talk. No disrespect to myself or to any of you, but yes, let's begin our talk on networking. So first up, what is a network? For me, simply put, a network is a series of connections. Think of it as those Christmas tree lights. You could plug in one, and then you could plug in others to that first one, and next one to that second one, and so on and so forth, and they'll be lit. All of them are connected. They're not all connected to the outlet directly, but through this network, you can see everything coming together. But we'll get into that some more. So now, like I said, it's a series of connections. So if you are in a large meeting room, a large party or something with professionals and entertainers and self-employed people, is that your network? No. For you to consider anyone to be a part of your network, a relationship has to exist. So you have to interact with people in order to populate your network. So if you're in this room with all kind of people, enter in some conversations Some people that talk about sports and you know about sports, or some people that talk about politics or education or anything. You could kind of inch your way into the conversation. You start off, you don't want to be rude or come across as like, so you could start off nodding, agreeing with people, and then slowly but surely starting to contribute your opinions, asking questions, some follow-up statements and comments, and of course, somewhere in there you have to try to introduce yourself. So people will say, man, when Jamie made the talk about LeBron James, he just had a really cool perspective. So who knows, when NBA playoffs come around, maybe they reach out to you and say, hey, we'd have a watch party. You seem to know about sports and love sports. Come hang with me. And boom, you're part of that network. No. And so obviously too, it's much easier to do that, have that same approach with individuals instead of a large gathering. It's easier to have a lasting relationship on a one-on-one basis. So if you see someone, something as simple as you're at a meeting and you notice someone all the way to the back by the water cooler, and then into they watch CNN on their phone from coronavirus. All of we know something about coronavirus at this point. Start any conversation, bounce opinions off each other. Again, introduce yourself. You have to know each other, and then that way again your network grows. And not think that to have a large network you just have to approach a big group of 50 people, hand out 50 business cards, and that when you left your network grows by 50. You might not grow at all. It's advisable that you try to approach these one-on-one relationships. So if you have a big meeting with 50 people and you leave with 2 or 3 or 5 meaningful contacts, that is a huge success. So next up, what is the first step in networking from my view? Remember, I'm not the networking guru. I can only share from my experiences. So for me, the first step to networking is building your brand. That means you have to put out what you want. You have to take control of how you want people to see you. So if you want people to say, man, he really smart, you can't be on Facebook that post some ridiculous, not to put down anyone, but let's just say some ridiculous Cardi B memes. Just an example, no disrespect to her. Cardi B memes all day long. People might not take you that seriously. So you have to be mindful about how you present yourself at work, at school, on social media, which is the biggest platform to have thousands of people, there are hundreds at least see you all at once. Be mindful of what you put out there. If you want to become a accountant, a lawyer, a front desk specialist or whatever, start building your brand. And building your brand, of course, it can be just superficial. You have to know something, and knowing does not necessarily require going to school for it. You are watching this online right now, so you have access to internet. Anything in the world that you want to know, you can turn it into a Google question. If you want to make Creole bread, www.google.com, how to make Creole bread. A bunch of results will show up and you are well on your way. Similarly, if you want to learn how to publish a book, how to be in the hospitality industry and be a good worker in that industry, you could take advantage of reading material, video materials if you don't want to read, audio podcasts if you don't want to watch anything, you just want to hear. Take advantage. Google, they're your friend. Take advantage of it to build up yourself. And that leads me into my next statement. In Belize, when it comes to networking, we like to say that know where you know, that who you know. So When it comes to getting a job, people say, some people no go to school and get good jobs, while some go to school and can't get jobs. And they say, because no way you know, but who you know. But I would like to refine that a bit to say that for me is actually the no only way you know, but the who know you and who know where you know. So let me say that again a bit slower. They're not just where you know, but the who know you and who know where you know. So, for example, I have for you, imagine that you are an incredibly talented electrician, but you live isolated back a bush or on a mountain or even in the city, but you just keep to yourself. All day you fix your fridge, your washing machine, you take old parts and bring them together into building your own AC unit. What good does that do you if nobody know that you could do that, or that you are, or know even who you are? So now imagine you venture out, you pass somebody's house, you see their exterior light when they work, and you approach them and you say, man, not to interrupt you, but I notice your light isn't working. Normally that means X, Y, and Z, your fuse box, something might be disconnected, or something blows, and normally that would cost about $30 in equipment, $60 in labor, but I could do everything for you for $26, and this person decides to give you a chance, and it works out. They're happy. All of a sudden they ask you to fix their fridge and their TV and washing machine, and now they tell their neighbor, you work for their neighbor. That will continue on and on. All of a sudden, you need a few employees because you get so big. And so that again is the value of building your brand and putting yourself out there. So if you have that content, put it out there, whatever it be. If you are a comedian, if you dance good, if you have excellent thoughts when it comes to governance, how we could lead beliefs better, put it out there. When you talk to your friends, discuss these things. When you're on social media, post these things. Believe it or not, people will pick it up. I try to think that for everyone that knows you and know what you do and know what you know, consider you having $100 extra in your bank account. If you have that mentality, you won't want to stop at $100, right? You want 2 and 3 and 4, and then go into the thousands and tens of thousands, and that is what would translate into your richness, whether you want material richness, financial richness, or just the ability to have connection with a wide cross section of people. Now, to give a personal example, when I was younger, I loved politics and the media, and I kept up with politics through the media, Channel 7. 2 people I looked up to were Patrick Farber and Jules Vasquez. I either wanted to be a leading journalist or a successful and worthwhile politician. So I looked up to those 2 men. And I didn't just keep it as a dream, I started to act on it. So the first thing was to, like I advised, build up some knowledge. So I watch news, research on Google, read newspaper. As I learn to read any newspaper, I read. And that's how I learn about my country, I learn about politics, governance, media, and all of that stuff. And then next, what I said, put yourself out there. So as my family, anytime politics come up, I want to put in my 2 cents, quarrel back and forth, contribute, come up with wild ideas, talk about it at work, post it on social media, and people pick it up. So for example, and also in putting yourself out there, I used to go to political rallies. I remember going to a few UDP political rallies. And in putting myself out there, guess what? One day, Patrick Farber messaged me to say that he has been seeing some of the things I post, and he thinks that I have a lot of sense, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, Patrick Faber and I have a very good professional and personal friendship now. Professional relationship and a personal friendship. And on the media front, one of the person who saw things that I would post online was Indira Craig. We connected and we now are legit best friends. Just from me putting myself out there and her finding me entertaining and smart and whatever else. And guess what? Indira Craig obviously works at Channel 7. Eventually she took me along with her to work, and ran into Jules Vasquez, introduced me. Happened several more times, and then so now Jules Vasquez become a part of my network, and we have a professional relationship. And I wouldn't say a personal friendship, but we certainly have an informal relationship also. So that just again to me validates what I said about the Christmas tree lights. You don't have to be connected to the source directly, but if you connected to a medium that's a person that's connected to somebody that's connected to somebody that's connected to the person you ultimately want to connect with, you're already on the right path. So next up, know that you are building the brand again and you have something to offer. You have knowledge and skills and ambition. Help people. Do not take that for granted. The goal of networking is to benefit, but you don't want to think about it as just yourself benefiting. Both parties or all parties involved in this network need to benefit from each other, or else somebody will tap out, especially the ones who have the most to offer. If you're not useful to them in any way, it's kind of wishful thinking to assume that they will stick around and always be helping you and not getting any type of help in return. So to me, people are more likely to remember you when you help them, really and truly. So volunteer. If you see someone sad on Facebook, for example, reach out. Of course, don't do it in a creepy way. Don't just video chat a stranger. They'll block you out. That won't be helping out. But just as an example, hypothetically, send a kind inbox message. Hey, I see you appear to have been going through a lot lately. I don't mean to invade your personal space, but just know that you should at least try to talk to somebody. That is one good way to get out of your slump. And we're not friends, but I'm willing to hear you if you want to. But just know that people care about you, and best of luck. Now, imagine this person take up your offer, talk to you a bit, and it turns out their issue is school. They're failing math. And coincidentally, you're good at math. You helped she out on math, she passed her exam. Lisa, random name, really like you now as a friend. And I developed this friendship. Down the road now, you're the sad one. Lisa say, what's wrong, Andre? I tell her I just lost my job. I didn't know, but Lisa's dad is the owner of Radisson Hotel. Lisa said, no man, I talked to my dad. Lisa's dad hires you because his daughter recommended you and he loves and trusts his daughter. His daughter approves of you. And so you see how all parties benefit from this networking that can start from a random act of kindness. And to give an example, earlier I mentioned that I am the president and founder of Group Hug. One of the things we do every summer is to distribute backpacks with school supplies to children in need. And I remember late at night, I was driving Indira Craig's car, see everything coming together, and her license plates were off because she had just got some repairs done. I couldn't find them at a checkpoint, of course. Stressed out, police officer pulled me over, said, where is, let me see your driver's license, I'll give you a ticket. I couldn't find my driver's license, more headache. He said, what's your name? I said, Andrea Pitts. Sorry, I can't find my wallet. She said, Andrea Pitts from Group Hug? I said, yes, Andrea Pitts from Group Hug. She said, You don't know me, but last summer you gave my daughter a school bag, and we really needed it and appreciate it. Have a good night, Mr. Pitts. You can go. And so I was not breaking the law, no bribery or anything like that. But you see the value of putting yourself out there, and so now I have a police officer slash traffic officer in my network. And now my final message about networking is to pay it forward. If you benefit from people, you benefit from networking, benefit from a kind gesture or whatever, pay it forward. That in itself, by the way, wins you more appreciation and people admiring you and feeling like they should help you if you ever need it. You want to connect your contacts to other contacts. Don't take it for granted. Let's just say randomly that you have a fancy judge as a VIP contact in your network. That doesn't mean the rest of your network is irrelevant, by the way. But maybe you could connect that judge with your friend who not have a job but knows how to fix phone screens good. Your friend doing a good job, fix the judge phone screen. The judge have a tablet. Your friend install the apps for the judge may need on a tablet. Now your judge need one seamstress. The judge reach out to you. Say you know a lot of people. Connect the seamstress. Same thing happens to your seamstress. Now your friend connected to this judge. This judge connect on to family and friends, people who work with other lawyers, and everybody in the circle benefit. Those people, the judge and all of them, are getting services they want. You and your friends are getting connected with people who could give them employment and all sort of things, and it just really and truly, you can't help it. This is a hypothetical example. Imagine that your friend Lisa is a teacher. You, the good friends with Lisa and Lisa only. Lisa is good friends with her principal, and her principal is good friends with the Minister of Education. Now, you have an urgent health crisis, and basically you need free dialysis or you'll die. No mean for some dramatic, just an example. You don't know how to connect with the government to be heard out in a quick way. You let Lisa know. Lisa loves you, she hears you, she feels for you. She shared with her principal. Since then close, the principal said, man, Lisa never lead me astray before. If she said that's all, let me see who I can help. And so the principal, who is friends with the Minister of Education, Patrick Farber, passes on your story. Patrick heart is touched by Minister Farber, my friend Farber. His heart is touched by it, and he said, man, let me see who I can help. He passes this on to his colleague, the Minister of Health, Honorable Pablo Marin, and he said, man, if Minister Farber said that's so I trust him, and boom, you get your assistance. So that not because you politically connected directly or rich or high in society, things that Belizeans would say, but the value of your network is coming true for you. So don't take it for granted, people. Some of us are introverts, shy, quiet. Remember the story of the electrician. You don't want to limit yourself as a result. To be quite honest, I am somewhat of an introvert myself. Hard to believe, I'm probably to laugh right now, but I prefer my personal quiet space by myself at home. But when I'm on a talk show or whatever, I do what I have to do. When I'm in a large gathering or whatever, I mingle and what's not, because like I said, networking is richness. I probably have $300 or $400 in my bank account right now, but I feel I can feel comfortable and happy knowing that if I lose my job, for example, hope that not happen, or get ill, or whatever may be the case, I have just a huge network of useful people that I can reach out to, or people who can reach out to people who can reach out to the person that would be able to assist me. And I can do so comfortably knowing that the people in my network I always assist. In fact, I try help out them more than they help out me, because that way I feel they would be more inclined to offer emergency support when that's the case, and you wouldn't be able to do without their help. So that is my 2 cents on networking. If I not make any sense, let me know, and I will and come again. I have no shame in doing so. And again, I mean it when I say reach out to me if you need your help with anything. Group hug, Justice of the Peace, marketing idea. I will not always be able to help, but I can likely point you in the direction of the person who may be able to help. And that's what we call the Christmas tree light effects, aka networking. Thank you, Zaldana, for inviting me. Viewers, thank you for watching, and all the best.